Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Pilot Jam for Friday, December 13th. Friday the 13th. You guys catch that? I caught it. Friday the 13th. Been a good day, though. Productive day. Good to see everybody popping in. We've got some good material to cover. A nice recap from Torches, and we've got a giveaway tonight that we're going to deal with. So, yeah, good stuff. Anyway, Hobie was in first. Shane got in. He's not playing around, man. Shane is playing for keeps. If you guys want to beat Shane, you're going to have to keep a closer eye on things. I'm surprised. Fred is not even, like, contending anymore. He's, like, sleeping or something when the announcements go out. Who knows? Sir Trumpington got in at second. And no, I'm not second. I don't count. I was just kind of snickering at Hobie's comment, if you ain't first. That's from the Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you last. That was pretty funny. Kahuta's here. Hey, me and me, and me and me. How you doing, man? Photios is here. Good evening from Greece. Welcome, Photios. Auburn Spy, how are you going to be first when the stream is 5 hours? Man, they've come in a day ahead of time before. If I post it, they'll come in a day ahead of time and hit that first button. They don't play around. It's a fun game. We've been doing it really from the start of the Pilot Jam. So, yep, that's how it goes. It's first one in, whoever spots it. And nobody knows except me. I'm the only one who knows. Me in the shadow. Mitch Gantry is here. How you doing, Mitch? Sig Flyer, happy Friday. Yeah, and amen for Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Arlene, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Husband and I are looking forward to tonight's episode. Well, great. I'm glad to have you here. Thanks for the nice comment. Keith from Massachusetts is here. Freezing cold. Yes, we got, what was it? We got down to 73 today. It was very, very, like, non-t-shirt weather. You had to put something on, like jeans. And it's 63 right now. I just got back from my exercise and I wore one of those one of those waffle shirts over top, and it was too hot. It was too hot. I could have gone with just a t-shirt. Dave is here. How you doing, Dave? Good evening, says Wolfie. HB Jeff from Canada is here, representing the northern 51st state of the U.S. I hear. You hear things. Freddie, howdy, folks. How you doing, Fred? Where you been, man? Fred's sleeping. Keith says, guys, don't forget to hit the like button on the way. And thanks for, hey, Keith's on the like whip right away. Appreciate that, man. That does help. Please hit the like button. That helps. And then leave a comment after the video. That always helps. Dan Griffiths is here. William Tam is here. Mike Morales, dang, not first. Stan Heaton, howdy. And that's everybody. Okay. Well, good. Let's get started. It was a good week on content. I got a lot of videos. This is the 5th video this week, guys. 5th video. Not bad. That's a pretty good production schedule. Not bad. And a lot of that is thanks to these guys, the Torches guys. And before I get started, I just want to say something about the Torches guys. The helicopter guys, fantastic. Very warm, welcoming crew. They let me film them. They let me come out on the field. They talk helicopters. They love the hobby, just like all the fixed wing guys and the quad guys love their stuff, All I can say is I had a very nice time at Torches. Everybody was super spectacular, friendly, great conversation, good people, good hangout, nice field. It's well run, good organization. It was just a nice event. So I had a great time. I want to say thanks to my new friends at Torches for their hospitality and letting RCVR run around rampant with the camera filming stuff. I had a good time. And a real special thanks to Bert. Bert's like, hey, you should go film that guy. And you should film that guy. And, and I'm like, I don't know those guys, Bert. He goes, oh, I'll walk you over. And he'd walk me over and introduce him and say, tell him who I was. And, we'd get him mic'd up if necessary. It was really an enjoyable event. I had a good time. And special thanks to Bert for his kind of connecting me with the different personalities at Torches at the Winter Bash. So we had a good time. I know Fred was there pretty good chunk of the day with me. And he brought his son out, which was nice. And we had a good time. We were socializing, a little camera work, watch the helicopters fly. It was good. Really enjoyable event. Sometimes it's fun just to sit down and watch other people like that. That was crazy, man. It was craziness. And I can tell you that Torches Club, those guys they just have so many good helicopter pilots. It's insane. Really, really good. So we had a nice time. But anyway, yeah, that was the so the first video, amazing flight by top RC pilots, winner. That's these guys. In fact, I just realized that I have the same video listed twice, which is obviously an error, but that's okay. We had Ben Storick. He flew, and Ben was, oh my gosh. And I have another video too. There's another guy I'll be putting up. I'm not going to spoil it and say who it is, but I've got another video. And this guy, the one that I have still to produce, he probably flies the helicopter faster than anybody I've ever seen. I know that Tariq is pretty fast. He's pretty quick. But as far as what I've seen personally, you know, I'm not talking about YouTube videos. I'm talking about what I've laid eyes on. So amazing fast and hard stops, hard precision stuff. It was kind of cool. It was a lot of fun. So Shane says Bert's tandem flight was awesome. It really was. And the young guys too. I know a lot of people didn't watch that video for some reason. I don't know if it was they were tandem out or what, but the video with James and Andre, it was really good too. Those two are really talented. And to get out there and take those helicopters and fly like these guys are flying right there in that close proximity, and you know they're expensive and they're cumbersome to put back together, and you know they don't take a punch well. So if they go in, you're at least going to be down a set of blades, almost guaranteed every time. So it's great to see them flying like that and sharing their talent with us. It really is inspirational to watch for sure. So anyway, then we watched the James and Andre tandem video, and then we did the Radio Master GX12 video. That got a lot of hits, man. You guys were like all over that. In fact, this little radio, you know what I'm saying? You guys were on it for sure. Whoops, wrong screen's going back. But you guys were on the GX12 and everybody saw that and they got all over it. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool little radio. We'll talk a little bit about it tonight. And I'll tell you guys about what has me so interested in this radio. Why am I so interested in this radio? So we'll talk about that tonight a little bit. But anyway, after that, we did the PilotJam. We got the PilotJam. So yeah, 5 videos this week. I don't know where Robert is tonight, Freddie. He's MIA, man, for sure. All right, that's it for the week in review, and that means we can get started with some material. So let's go. We got the 40K update. Okay, I got some news on the 40K update. The 40K update, we're gonna have. I have 3 sponsors. So I'm going to be giving away some Radio Master gear. Not this. You're not getting this. This one's not being given away, so don't even ask. But we're going to give away some Radio Master stuff. We're going to give away some FMS goodies, and we're going to give away some Sunny Sky goodies. Sunny Sky is now a sponsor of the channel. That just happened today. How about that? Huh? How about that? There we go. Yeah. All right. Sunny Sky picking up the channel. You guys know I like Sunny Sky motors. I fly them in a lot of my airplanes, but they're going to send me several motors for testing, and they sent me 3 combo packs to give away during the 40K live stream. So we should have a lot of fun with that. We're going to have fun. So three sponsors, and it's just live stream is just going to be a little, just a little get together. We'll spend a little time giving some stuff away, talking about the channel, having a little fun. Nothing, no structure, just a little bit of a hangout, a little bit of fun. That's all. Celebration of the growth. That's it. So that's it on the 40K update. I just want to let you guys know that's in work. And the thing that slowed me down is getting the final sponsors rounded out, because the email, we lose a little time with the translation. So just trying to get the email, sponsors finalized. So, and everything this time will be drop shipped. I'm not having them send me anything. Everything that'll be given away will be drop shipped. So I'll give my winners information to the vendors that sponsored us, and they will conduct the shipping and provide the shipping to the winners. So yeah, some fun stuff, fun giveaway stuff. All right. First up, let's get into some content. I wanted to cover this Rotorflight custom Expresslrs telemetry because it's been a change, and it's kind of an interesting change to understand. So I need to put this camera away because we're not going to look at that just yet. But I am going to get out the old TX16S. So there's the TX16S. That's got to come into the play. We're going to get to that in just a minute. For now, what I want to do is just focus on Rotorflight and what I'm showing you guys here in the Rotorflight setup. So I don't know the technical detail behind it, and to be honest with you, I really don't care. At the end of the day, when they first put Rotorflight out, they were using these reuse commands to map things like ESC telemetry into supported sensors on the Radio Master over an Expresslrs link. And Dr. Rudder, I believe, is the primary guy behind this. He was like, that's a terrible situation to do the reuse. You have limited options. You can't get everything you need. You got to make sure the data formats are right. So he went in and did this little thing, Expresslrs custom telemetry. And I'm not a developer, so if I say the word refactor, that may not be the correct phrase. I don't know. And again, as a layperson, I don't care. what it is important to me is that when you turn this on, when you enable telemetry and turn this on, you can set your telemetry rate to equal your packet rate on Expresslrs, and then set your telemetry ratio to equal your ratio on Expresslrs. And then what happens is you get access to all, I need to check the scene so I can see if the drop-down list is coming in here. But you get access to all of this stuff, man. Look at all of that stuff. Those are all the sensors you can get from, say, the ESC, right? The ESC provides a lot of information about voltage, current, ESC voltage, bus voltage, MCU voltage, BEC temperature, ESC1 temperature. I mean, it's insane. So they packed all of these different sensors in to the custom Expresslrs telemetry. The only problem is it doesn't just work. You have to do something on your radio to make it work. And that's what I wanted to show you tonight. So the first thing, if you're messing around with Expresslrs, also pay attention to the version numbers here. You need configurator version 2.1 RC1 or later, and you need a firmware 440 RC1 or later in order for this to work, okay? So if you're setting Rotorflight up, make sure you're up to speed, updated. And then the other thing you have to do is you have to go to get the Lua scripts for EdgeTX and OpenTX. So when you click on that, that should bring up a browser window. And when you get to that browser window, you can scroll down and hit the Lua scripts for EdgeTX and OpenTX, and then just scroll down here and get them and install them. Once you download those and unpack them, I'll give you a look at the window so you can see what this looks like. So this is the scripts. You got functions, mixes, RF2, and tools. But the reason mine says script 3 is because I've done this 3 times. So ignore the number 3. You just take this scripts folder and you copy that to the root of your SD card. If you're on a Mac, make sure you hit merge. If you're on Windows, just copy it and it'll figure it out on its own. But the script we're looking for is this one. It's in the mixes folder, and it will auto-populate in the radio in the right place. You don't have to do anything special. Again, just copy the scripts folder to your root on your SD card, okay? And if you're on a Mac, hit merge. That's what you need to do. And then you're going to look for this one on the radio. So we'll go touch on that now. I'm going to bring the radio up so you guys can see that. And I'm going to bring up the camera here, and I'm going to unlock it and put it in the center of the screen like that. Okay, now on the radio, what we're looking for, the key to making all this work on the radio. And I'm gonna reset the fly barless real quick here because I need it to bind so I can show you the sensors. So the first thing we'll do is click on the model button, and we're going to go over, that's another thing that has come up for other people. Make sure you're on a recent version. Oh, that's blowing out, isn't it? There we go. That's better. Make sure you're on a recent version of EdgeTX. I'm on 2.10.5. And the reason for that is because you have to have the enabled features on. So enabled features, one of the features you need, if you look at the radio, the model setup under enabled features, you just need to make sure that the custom scripts right here is on. That has to be on. Now, in my case, it's honoring the global variable, the global setting, and in my global, it's on. Okay, so you can see right here the status is on. That's got to be on right there. Okay, otherwise you're not going to see the screen I'm about to show you. And the one I'm about to show you is I'm in the right spot here. It's custom scripts. Oh, it's right here. Next one, custom scripts right here. And all you do is you're going to pick an open line, click that, hit edit, and then you'll click on this drop down and you'll see Rotorflight 2 TLM in there. Okay, that's all you got to do. And then once you do that, then what will happen when you discover sensors is you're going to get that great big list of sensors. I'm going to zoom in a little more. So you'll get that great big list of sensors. This CNT, that's a count of the custom Expresslrs frames you're getting. Skip, it's okay to see one or two, a few errors. You just don't want to see it keep going up. But then after that, you can see the rest of it. We've got our voltage per cell, our ESC temperature, head speed, VBAT, current, battery percentage, RX bat. It's beautiful. It's a great thing. It all comes in. All right. So I just wanted to show that because it is a departure from the static content that's out there on the web, you know, that I made, because at the time this didn't exist. You had to do a reuse command, and that was what was available at the time the video was made. So in order to get it to work, let's recap real quick. You have to, Rotorflight here, you have to bring up your Rotorflight and go to the receiver tab and turn on enable telemetry, and then enable CRSF custom telemetry. Set your rate equal to your packet rate on Expresslrs, your ratio equal to your telemetry ratio on Expresslrs. And then once you do that, you'll get this drop down list. And oh, you can rearrange these too. You grab these little bars here and you can rearrange them however you want. Okay. So you can flip the order of the sensors however you want. All right. All right. That's that. I just wanted to give that to you guys as a, you know, to give you some understanding of how it's changing, right? A little bit of a dynamic environment out there with the Rotorflight, obviously, because it's open source and those guys are continuing to work on things. I guess we can leave this radio in the scene. We don't need to get rid of that. So let's see there. That's nice. That looks good. Okay. I'm going to check comments and then I will get going on to the next subject. Hobie says, hell yeah, 40K. That's right. Thanks to all you guys for subscribing too. And while we're on that, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much. The patrons, if you are so inclined, there's a link right there at the bottom of the screen, right down there. It says patreon.com/RC Video Reviews. For the price of a cup of coffee, if you want, you can help me do things like get hardware, get equipment, get things in, review them, look at them. And a lot of times I give it away at this point. So if you're so inclined to help, patreon.com is a great way to help do that. So thanks to those of you who have already reached into your wallets and help out. I do appreciate you and the contributions you make to the channel. Thank you. All right, let's see. Robert made it, huh? Glad to see you, Robert. Let's see. Remember, join us on the Discord. Yep, the guys are putting the Discord links in. Robert says, lurking again. Had a wipeout on ice on Monday. Broke 2 ribs. Man, Robert, you're not a spring chicken anymore, my friend. You got to take care of yourself, man. He's been getting wiped out lately. That sounds terrible. I think he just recovered from his last thing. What the heck, Robert? We're going to have to start thinking about putting you in old folks home. Oh boy, those are fighting words. Oh, Precious would look so much better, huh? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, since since Robert isn't feeling well, I mean, you know, we gotta do what we can to make him feel better, right? So there's Precious for Robert. Sorry, I just wanted to zoom out and give Robert that full frontal view of Precious, so he had it there. So see how they love you, Robert? Shane's looking out for you, man. He's looking out for you. So there's a look at Precious for Robert. All right, there we go. All of the stuff on the new radio I'm most excited about, the modular switch plates. Yeah, those are cool. Spin, launch, glide, they are cool. Definitely. And you know, when I first got mine, I use this button for my throttle lock. And when out of the factory, it's a momentary. And they put these on these PCB boards. So the first thing I had to do on every RTX 16 I got my hands on was take them apart and switch these switches out. And then of course, later on, they came out with parts you could buy, you know, pre-made. But yeah, that's how I always want my radio. I want that throttle lock right there. That's where I want it. It's just what I want. It's my money, my hobby, right? So over here, I use that for instant trim. So that's momentary. And the reason I have instant trim over there is because the one I'm trying to instant trim the most is aileron and elevator, right? So you're flying around, you just sneak this finger up there. And when you get it right where you want, you just hit that and bang, you're done. It's trimmed, you know? So that's what I kind of got away from. And that's why I do that. So I really like those modular switch plates. And I asked Radio Master, I said, hey, you guys need to do that for everything. It needs to be that easy to change out. And I don't care if you have to take the back off. I'm okay with that part. But the switches come off freely. They're not soldered onto a board. So anyway, Wowsy says, great to be here. Well, we're glad to have you here, Wowsy. Robert says, as soon as that GX12 gets released, I'm buying it through the channel. Well, we'll appreciate that. Thank you. She makes your blood pressure even out. Ooh, straight for the jugular. Okay. All right. So that's it on the Expresslrs telemetry. Oh, we have about Dave. Well, you guys know the deal with this. Dave, he spends Friday nights doing family stuff. So in order to get him pulled in the PilotJam, during the week, he sends me a little updates on what's going on. So here's a little segment about Dave. Here's what Dave's been up to.
All right, well, I finally got to looking at this. I was flying, noticing something weird in the air, but, oh well, you know, I'm like, okay, wind, whatever. Then when I went to put the airplane away, I grabbed it from the spinner, and it moved. Well, there it is. This one is loose here. That one is gone. And that one is about to fall out. That one right there. Okay. Interesting. This has happened several times with planes put together by different people. This was put together at the factory. No fault in them. You know, they vibrate and stuff comes loose. Just we need to check it. Be checking. These airplanes fly different than the regular Cadets and Chaos and Kurari and all that stuff. This is different. We need to check all these screws. Anyways, there you go. I'll swap some screws and we'll try it again. Put some new screws. I won't use Loctite this time. I'll probably use concrete or JB Weld or something like that. Concrete, reinforced concrete, that'll work. Alright, man. I love these things. Simplicity. Sometimes we get too wrapped up in too much technology. These throw gauges are beautiful. They're perfect. Nice. Oh yeah, by the way, that needed to flare just a hair more on that one.
That was my laser.
Me, though. Hey, that wasn't nobody. Okay, not too good. Anyways, simple and accurate and good. Woo! All right,
there we go. There's our About Dave segment. So just trying to get Dave pulled in a little bit and have him give you some updates during the week as to what he's been working on. So Dave's always got something going, always tinkering with something. And Hobie says that motor movement should help with your crankshaft. I told him to hook a servo up to it and make it directional control, and he didn't try to do that. So I don't know, man. I think he's slacking a little bit. I'm a little surprised. Thrust vectoring a 3D plane, why not? What the heck? Sounds good to me. I like it. I like where your head's at, Hobie. I like the way you're thinking about the problem, right? Very good. All right. Ooh, next up is the giveaway. I don't have another giveaway to do today. Unfortunately, I ran out of stuff to give away. I'll have to fix that. I'll have to remedy that. That was the Skywing laser, man. I was out flying and I was way up high and it just went in. I think what we think happened was there was no evidence of radio loss. It had power. So what I think happened was I was actually thrashing it pretty hard, and we think what happened was the A3 Super 4 it got over current. It was too much current for the A3 Super 4 because all the controls just locked. But we had power going in. But it locked, it froze. And I was way up high, like plenty of time for me to recover. It was not a problem. So anyway, we got the big camera here. Remember, this is the Hoda T6. The box came that way. I didn't do that to the box. But anyway, this is a brand new charger. And I got to be honest with you. If I did not already have iCharger X6s, this is the one I'd be getting for my field box. I really like this one. I've spent some time with it. I've used it a couple of times, and I like the nav buttons up at the top. I like that they donated a whole bunch of the surface area for the screen. It's got 30-volt input right there on the side. It's got PD input right there as well. The fan is on the bottom with legs, so it'll maintain its circulation. You don't have to worry about blockage. It'll keep the air flowing. And what's best is that it's withstood about a dozen charges, and the fan still works, unlike certain other B6 Neo chargers I won't mention that are pieces of junk that should be banished from the life of the internet. But these are working really well. And 6L charge capability, XT60 on both ends. So nice little charger. We had a giveaway, and you guys know the rule on the giveaway. The giveaway was you had to get in, and in the chat you had to say gimme, gimme, gimme. And we had a bunch of people say gimme, gimme, gimme. And on Wednesday, just so you guys know too, by the way, after Wednesday night, it doesn't help you to add gimmies, just so you know. Wednesday night, I picked the winner. So, I mean, if you want to keep commenting, that's fine by me. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it doesn't matter after Wednesday night is my point, because I picked the winner on Wednesday night. So with that said, we can go to the giveaway scene, and I'm going to hope I turned the image off. I didn't. There it is. Drum roll for Kahuta, 240. He won the giveaway. And man, I got to tell you guys right now, he really went after it. If you guys, he's like playing for keeps. And I'm surprised he didn't win the last one, because he really went after the last charger too. But he went after this one again and he got it. So Kahuta, man, you won it. Now the rules are simple. You have to, I'm going to hide this, and you have to, let me hide this business too. There, we'll clear that up. So forget the dates up here, but the bottom line is you have until tomorrow. You have until December 14th at 2000 GMT -5 to send an email to john@rcvideoreviews.com, and it must include the exact mailing address that you want it shipped to, and you got to show me a government issued ID that proves you're over the age of 25. Or no, sorry, not 25. What am I talking about? 18. You got to be over the age of 18. And the reason for that is because I don't deal with minors. So you have to prove that you're over the age of 18. Now, you only send me your driver's license if you're Kahuta. If you're not Kahuta, don't send me your driver's license. You guys got to stop doing that. I get driver's licenses like crazy. People send me copies. They think, I don't want everyone's only Kahuta, because he's the only one who won. So if you didn't win, don't send me your driver's license. There's only one winner. Kahuta got it. Congratulations, Kahuta. Enjoy your T6. Nice little charger, man. That's a good score for you. Good pickup. I like it. It's good pull for you, man. Mr. Skyride, let's see. Okay, congrats, Kahuta. Tell Dave to use green Loctite. So Keith, we've been talking about this, and we think so first off, that was a receiver ready plane. So it was built from the factory. Now the heli guys will tell you, hey, it doesn't matter, take it apart anyway and clean the threads, put Loctite on and reassemble it. That's what the heli guys will tell you. On the fixed wing side, I don't really make a habit of doing that. Most of mine are fine. That particular one, yeah, obviously something happened. And what we think is going on, we think that the firewall wood is compressing a little bit. And when it compresses, if it's not got any Loctite in there, then it just starts working itself loose. And once one starts coming loose, that's it. They all come loose. So anyway, that's kind of what we're thinking. So Dave's looking at lock washers. I know he's putting those on, and obviously putting some Loctite, making sure there's Loctite in, cranking them down a little bit, and we're also using a torque stripe because we're going to keep an eye on this. It's a little disturbing. And by the way, we've also seen it on the servo arms, the cinch screw on the servo arms as well. So if you got the metal servo arms with the cinch screw in the back, we've seen those come out as well. In fact, my Edge 540, not only did that one come out, the center screw came out and the servo arm was hanging off the bottom of the aileron. It was terrible. So you got to be careful. It fell down so the gears could not engage the arm, but it hadn't come completely loose yet. It was just on the edge of coming completely free. So yeah, Loctite, crimp those suckers down a little bit and definitely use some Loctite. And another thing that I picked up in the heli from the heli guys is I clean every single screw. Every single screw on my helicopters gets cleaned with isopropyl 99% alcohol before I use it. So yeah, you're right. Got to use that Loctite. All right, everyone. Okay, Arlene says, "Oh my God, congrats, husband!" Thanks, John. Ooh, Arlene is the missus. Okay, I got it now. Now we know what the connection is. Now we see. Do you send overseas? Yeah, it's anywhere. It doesn't matter. If I don't send overseas, I'll say so during the announcement of the giveaway. So if there is a limitation on where I ship, I say it during the giveaway announcement. Okay. Yeah, Robert, laser luck. That's right, man. It was just one of those. It's like that plane that just didn't want to live for me. That one's been at risk more than any other plane. It's the second laser I crashed too. So pretty terrible. Let's see. The hills have FPV. Is this why there's regular maintenance on real planes? That's funny you bring that up. Dave and I have had that conversations too. And we were talking about adding that as a segment to a PilotJam. The idea, and it's a great point, is that you've got to maintain your stuff. And so what that means is you got to, and listen, if you guys have been around for any period of time on my channel, you know for a fact, when I do a maiden, I'll take it up, I'll fly it around, I'll land, and I'll say, okay, we're going to go inspect. I don't mess around on the maiden. I just do basic testing. I make sure it flies. I make sure everything's locked in and is correct. Then I land and I say, okay, I'm going to go do some maintenance. And that's exactly what I did. I used to do. Now, I'll admit I've broken that habit. I have. I've broken it. And part of the reason I broke it is because I think the channel was getting tired of hearing me say, okay, we're going to go up and do a maiden and then circle around, 5 times, do a few maneuvers, make sure it's trimmed, then land and go check it out. Because I did it over and over and over and over and over again. So I think the channel got tired of that. I could tell by the video counts, the how people were reacting to the video. So for purposes of YouTube, I stopped doing that. However, personally, on a personal level, it is a good idea to get your drivers out and check. Put your drivers on, check the motors, check the ESC, check the servo linkages, check your arms, check your servo arms, check your control horns, check the ball links, make sure they're tight, make sure your nylocks are good. Check your landing gear screws, wheel pants. It's a good idea to investigate and validate what's going on. And that question about, is that why they do maintenance on real planes? I can tell you in the military, the maintenance programs are rigorous, substantial, right? The very rigorous maintenance programs in the military because they don't want to kill the pilots, right? They have a job to do. They got a mission to do, and they're counting on them to do the mission. So you can't have airplanes going down because some screw came loose somewhere. Just the bottom of the, that's all there is to it. All right, let's see. I'm a nylock guy. Had a couple problems with Loctite, and heat didn't really mix very well. Yeah, I know. Everyone's got their system, right? Everyone's got their ideas on how to do things. But at the end of the day, what's important is, does it work for you? And if it works for you, then you're not wrong. So that's the story I stick with. All right, so maintenance, yeah, critical. Let's do it. Do your maintenance. All right, GX12 battery. So I wanted to get the GX12 out because, when I did the video, it was already too long, to be honest with you. It was too long. But I can't help myself. I want to tear them apart and look inside and show you guys how it works, and show you where the screw holes are and what I think of it and, poke around in the firmware a little bit. But I actually had some batteries set out to show you guys what fit and didn't fit. But then I realized there's really no point in doing that because really this is the 5000. So this is a lithium ion. Now, somebody said, can you fit the 21700s in there? And the answer is, I really don't think so. So if you look at these two, this is the pack, right? This is the 18650 in the tray. This, I'm sure, is an 18650, but here, let's do this. Just to make sure we're 100%, because I don't want to strip the heat shrink off of that. So this one, this is a 21700 battery, although it's right there, INR 21700. Okay, so if you look at that next to the 18650s, you can see lengthwise right there. That's definitely longer. There's no question about it. On this one, this one, I believe this is a 21700 battery. Now that I look at it, I'm pretty sure that's what's in there. Yep. I'm almost positive that's a 21700 battery right there. So, because you tell by the diameter, right? The diameter matches up perfectly. So I'm going to go with 21700. So that means the naked 21700 pack fits in there. It's no tray. This is the Radio Master product, 5,000 milliamp hours, right? Lithium ion. So I'm going to say yes. The 21700 naked pack without the tray does fit in there. Now that said, it is a tight fit. It is tight, but it goes on and it's sealed. It's sealed all the way around. You can hopefully see on the sides. It's not bulging out. It's latched in there. So yeah, and if you maybe trim the phone down, it would maybe be a little bit easier. So yeah, 21700 definitely the 5,000 naked pack fits. I can tell you also unequivocally that the 21700s in a tray definitely do not fit. So they have to be in the heat shrink pack. All right. All right. Let's see. We get over 100 here, Hobie. Yeah, but red and blue fail from heat grain. One thing I'd be curious about is the calibration of sticks after a while. Your GX12 review is one of the most in-depth videos produced. Well, thanks, Hobie. I appreciate that. Looks like it should fit without the foam. Well, it fits with the foam, so we're in business. All right, now, so let's talk about why I'm interested in this radio. I told you guys there's a reason I'm not going to give this one up, and it's because I am interested in it. And I'll tell you why. It's the gimbals. The gimbals are 12-bit capable. And what that means is that EdgeTX is not 12-bit ready yet. Like, they don't have an end-to-end workflow in the processor, in the firmware, that allows for 12-bit computation. I do believe, although I don't know for a fact, but I do believe they intend to do it. All right. I think, hey, somebody says it would have to be 21.7 for 3,500 2S packs 20. Okay, yeah, the 5,000 milliamp hours. You know, I thought about that, but I thought there was a 18650 that was 5,000, but I wasn't sure. I don't fiddle around with those too much, so I wasn't 100% on that. But yeah, bottom line, 21.7 fits. Okay, so back to the story here. The gimbals, they're 1,000 hertz refresh rate, and they're digital. And they're 12-bit capable. So that is really, like, I would say that's state of the art, right? That really is state of the art. Now we're at a point, usually what's happening is the software gets ahead of the firmware or the hardware, and the hardware has to catch up. In this case, the other way around. I'd say these gimbals, the software now needs to catch up to these gimbals. So I'm interested in using this one because I want to, you guys remember I did that 12-bit experimentation, right? I did that. And I came to my own conclusion, but at the end of the day, the more resolution we get, the more accurate the computations are. That's a fact, and I don't care who you are, that is a fact. So the higher the resolution, the more accurate the computation. Now, whether or not we can recognize that with our meat hook fingers operating these sticks, that's a whole different question altogether. And my response to that is, unless you're flying something that's, unless you got a stick that long or a big steering wheel or something like that, my answer is no, you can't. Impossible. But the refresh rate might be something that will matter and manifest itself in a very positive way. And because this one has a 1,000 hertz refresh rate, I'm interested in that. I want to try that out. So I've already been doing a little bit of work getting this one set up for a helicopter. In fact, I deleted everything else, and I've been working on getting getting a helicopter set up on this one. So anyway, more to come on that. We'll be doing some experimentation with this, and it is a very interesting radio because you can take all this stuff off. If all you're going to do is use this for helicopters, all this stuff can come off. You don't need most of it. You need you need an arm switch, which you could do here easily, because these are all like latching two positions or latching momentaries, and you need rates and idle up, and some guys put those on a single switch, and then you want the auto rotation. But other than that, you're really just doing sticks. That's it. So it's a very interesting form factor to me. And I'll tell you what I really like is that top screen. I want that top screen on all my radios. The bottom screen's okay. But the top screen, it's just so much more convenient when you glance down. If you want to look at a timer, look at your head speed, it's so much easier when it's right there than if it's underneath your neck strap, because then you're doing this while you're trying to fly the helicopter, and it's a pain in the neck. So this top form factor, that has my attention. I'm really interested in that. All right. As soon as it releases, I'm buying it through your channel. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, channel gets a little kickback if you guys do that. Little affiliate fee, but it doesn't cost you anything. So if you're looking to buy Radio Master or anything else I review, and I've got an affiliate link, it is nice. Again, it all helps, right? Every little bit helps. So I appreciate. And that way you don't have to spend any extra money, right? If you use the affiliate links, it doesn't cost you anything. So it just helps the channel out a little bit. Being able to notice maybe in your teens. Age plays a big part too, John. Also maybe the kids, the joystick generation, maybe. But I did some testing with the circuit board connected, doing live dumps of the data stream, and man, to recognize 12 bits on these sticks, you got to move it like that much, like that much. It's so small, it's insane. So that's why really, even if you are really good, I don't think it matters. I don't think the mechanical aspect is that precise. So anyway, just my thoughts on it. But I am interested about the refresh rate, because that's like an instantaneous, especially if you got 1,000 hertz going to your helicopter. I can tell you guys though, let me show you something interesting on this. I did not cover this in the video because I didn't discover it in the video or prior to the video, because it just didn't cross my mind. But I'm going to bring up Expresslrs, and right here on Expresslrs, if you look at that packet rate, the options kind of skip around a little bit. So I'm all the way to the right now, and we've got 200 low band. That's the sub 900, right? And then you've got 100 full low, and then 100 low band, and then 50 low band. Okay, that's fine. Then we go to 500 2.4. Where's 1,000? Where's the D stuff? It's gone. So we have 500 2.4. We got 333. That's important for fully proportional. You guys know that's one of my favorite modes to operate for fixed wing right there. And then you got 240 at 2.4. You got 150 at 2.4, 100 at 2.4, 50, and then X150, X100, 250 low, 250 full, DK 500. That's still not 1,000. And then you got K1000. So where's the D5? Where's the D500? Where's the D? I don't get it. And where's the 1,000 hertz? I don't get it. So I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing. But this does. This will work. It's 500 hertz, still fast, but that's still only half the rate of the sticks, right? So just saying. And again, you're talking about 500 cycles per second, right? So no human's going to detect that. I don't care who you are. 500 cycles per second, you're not going to detect it. But it's, where is the 1,000 hertz rate? That's my question. I think that's kind of, I don't know why it's missing there. I'm going to have to check with Captain Bry and these guys to find out if I can figure out what's going on there. So anyway, I just thought I'd show that to you because it wasn't lost on me. All right, let's see. I think I might wait until they release the color touchscreen up above before replacing my TX16S. I think that's not a bad idea. If you take all the switches off you don't want, are there enough blank plugs? Yeah, that's a good question, Bill. Let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, so you need 6. If you took all of them off, just had a little accident, dropped something on the floor here, but let's see here. If we take them all off, let's see. In the bag, there are the switches. There are the plates. There they are. Okay, so there are, I feel like I lost some audio here. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay, let's see. We've got 3 holes per plate, 1, 2, 3, and they give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plugs. So there you go, 6 plugs and 3 holes per plate. So yes, enough plugs to plug all the holes. And oh, by the way, you can 3D print. I'm sure would be easy to do on this. All right, let's see. We're going to set that aside, and we'll get back to the desktop, and we're going to move on to the next subject, which is the old Goblin update. Got to give me a minute. I got to rejigger the desk here. All right. We need the big camera, and I need to zoom way out. Let's see. There we go. Now we've got to look. I wanted to give you guys an update on the Goblin Pro, and the update is that it's almost done. Still a few more. I've got some mechanical things that I need to do, right? I've got, the Nexus set up. If you look closely, I don't know if you can see it from that angle or not, but I have not connected the swash plate to the servos yet because I've got to do my servo setup in Nexus. I've still got to finish running the wiring and getting the Nexus installed, but the motor's in, servo's in, it's basically assembled. I ran out of kit bags. I'll put it that way. So no more bags. Tail belt's on, the motor's on. Got to configure the ESC, do the electronic setup. But this one is just about ready to fly. I could probably have this done in about 2 hours. That's my guess. Probably take me about 2 hours to finish this one up. So depending on how things go after the PilotJam, I may work on that. I don't know if I'm flying Saturday or not. If I'm not flying Saturday, I will probably finish it up tomorrow. So this one will be ready to fly very soon. This is the Goblin Pro, and I got this thanks to BK Hobbies on their Black Friday sale. They had a really nice discount on these, so I just couldn't resist, so I grabbed it. And I used the torque servos. Those are the BLS 2208s on the cyclic, and on the rudder, it's a BLS 0704T on the rudder. So those are the part numbers. Then the Ego Drift. This one is the Ego Drift motor. This is the 4530 510 kV. And I use this on my Raw 700 as well. I use this on the Tron 7, and the Raw 700 is a great motor for a 700 class helicopter. And Burt Kammerer actually flew this motor on my Raw 700, and he did fine. You know, he's like, yeah, it's plenty of power. It feels really good. So that's done. The Il Goblin is done. I actually spent a lot of time, during the week getting this thing ready to go after work, you know, getting things put together and getting it done. So I look forward to flying that. It's a beautiful color scheme. I love the orange on this. Look at that orange. Doesn't that pop? I mean, that's such a bright color orange. There's a look at the tail. Tail blades are installed. Again, still got to do some work on the back. I haven't even connected the push rod for the tail yet. We'll do that later. And finally, sorry, this is big hardware. You got to have a lot of space for it. The last thing I wanted to show you is the battery tray that I set up for this. So this, the Il Goblin Pro has the quick connectors, right? So that's a quick connector. And the way I set mine up is using a series connector. So I just, I'll just give you a look at it. I don't need to explain it. That's a series connector going to these two batteries. And the reason I did that is because I don't have a 12S charger. So if I did have a 12S charger, I probably would have got a connector, an adapter for up here, and just run it out the front with a balance extension. But I don't. I don't have a 12S charger. And not only that, I don't have any 12S extensions for the 6S leads. So this is the way I handle it on two 5S batteries. Strap those on. They are taped. In case anyone asks, and if you know about the Raw 580, yeah, they're taped. So they're taped, they're strapped. And the white, if you're wondering about the white right there, what I do is when I put these 12S packs together, I put a strip of white tape on the balance lead and one of the main leads, so that way when I connect to the charger, I never cross them up. Because when it's all compact like this, you're not taking them apart, it's really easy to confuse which main and which balance lead. It's just, it can be done. It's not hard to do. So by putting a little piece of white tape on the balance lead and the main, then I always know those two should go together. And then obviously, you know, the other balance lead, when I'm hooking out to a charger, those two go together. So that's how I manage that and keep that straight. And I'll tell you guys too, the China Hobbyline batteries so far, solid as a rock. There's no puffing there at all. They've been delivering. They've been doing what I expect them to do. So no more, no less. I would say that flight time wise, I've been getting what I expected. Bert's feedback on the Raw was that the batteries performed well. He's like, yeah, I mean, they flew as long as I would expect them to fly and delivered the power I needed for the duration of the flight. And he's an expert. Like, you know, if he says it, that's it. No arguing. You know, there's no arguing with that. So, so far, you know, my bottom line is that the China Hobby Lines have been doing their job. I told you guys I would keep you up to speed on what's going on with China Hobby Line batteries, because they're new to me, you know, and I'm trying to figure it out, you know, whether or not this is the brand for me. And I got to say, so far, they've been performing just fine. I don't have any objections, no complaints. That's it. What else can I say? They're doing what they say they're going to do. All right. I will go back over to the desktop and we get to Q&A. All right. So Q&A, we got to shut the radios down, because otherwise they'll sit and start beeping at me and telling me an activity alarm and stuff like that. So let's give get Precious back up there for Robert. And look at all that battery. It's a lot of battery. Yeah, it is. How please do a how-to on your BEC. Please, I'm doing a backup for my Nimbus and Gemini and have a general good idea, but I want to solidify my confidence. Yeah, do a how-to on your BEC. Okay. I think Discord's probably the place for that. Yeah, you're there and active. Hobie says, China Hobby Line batteries work well for me since 2018. That's good endorsement. And Shane flies, so, you know, they're good. And they're still in the rotation. Very good. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Next up is Q&A. Let's get to it. So Q&A, it was kind of a quiet week this week. I got to be honest with you guys. You guys were kind of quiet. There was some commentary, a lot of comments on the flight videos, like, wow, that was cool, but not too much in terms of questions. So it's going to be a short Q&A tonight. And this one, I snuck one in on you guys. I renamed the segment comments and questions because there weren't a lot of questions this week. So first comment came from Joe. He says, officially addicted to your channel. Just got the TX16S Max and learning big time. And I'm glad to hear that. It's funny to me when what really makes me smile is when I get out on the web or the internet or, the groups or whatever, Discord, and people are asking questions and I see my thumbnail pop up as the answer. That makes me smile because that tells me that not only are you watching it, but then you also recommend it to other people who are struggling with some issue. So I'm glad to hear that. It makes the effort worth it. So I appreciate that. Next up, let's see. James says, so with all that computer knowledge to a layman, there's still no button for an original factory setting reset. That little 6-channel Hobby King radio was selling has a factory reset button. A couple of times I messed up and used it. Some little radio for a layman. I purchased another one for my grandson and can't get a hold. Okay. So no, there's no reset button on EdgeTX. And part of the reason for that is because EdgeTX works with lots of different radios. But what's more important is that EdgeTX and the hardware are kind of divorced a little bit, like they're roommates, right? The companies that produce the radios do not produce EdgeTX and vice versa. So the deal is on EdgeTX, if you want to reset your radio, there's a couple of simple ways to do it. Number one, and this is what I encourage everybody to do, when you take a brand new EdgeTX radio out of the box, the first thing that you should do is connect it to your computer and copy the contents of the SD card somewhere safe. And if you do that, you can almost 1000% of the time restore it back to factory. You'd have to really have something bad going on in order to not do that. I've even done a video where I was flashing the firmware, and during the flash, I unplugged it and I show how to recover it. Okay. So it's kind of hard to brick them. Like you can't really brick them. There's a way to recover them because there's a bootloader in ROM, and ROM is read only. So if there's a bootloader in ROM, that means you can recover the firmware, right? That's the reality. Now for a layperson, it's not a, that's probably way more information a layperson or a non-enthusiast needs to know. So what I would say for a layperson is go to buddy.edgetx.org, connect. Okay, so first off, back up your radio. Okay. Then second, if you really want to restore things to factory, go to buddy.edgetx.org and tell it to rewrite your SD card contents and erase the originals, erase the contents there. That's it. When you're done with that, it's basically reset. No, is it a button? No, it's not a button, but that'll do it. And the other thing you can do if you want to do it yourself is plug it into your computer, delete the radios folder and the models folder. Just and maybe the scripts folder. That can cause people some problems. But in terms of radio settings themselves, radio folder, that deletes the radio settings. Model, that deletes all the models that are on there. So if you delete those two folders, you're basically starting from scratch, pretty much. Like the only real difference would be whatever you have in your tools folder, tools, scripts, widgets, that kind of thing. All right. So that's my answer. You gotta back up your SD card. And if you really get into trouble, just restore your SD card. Just delete whatever's there, restore your backup, and you'll be back to square one, like the moment you took it out of the box. It's not hard. You just have to do the work, man. This is the thing. You have to understand. No, it's not a button, but it's not that hard. I mean, all you got to do is take a backup when you start, and then when you're done, if you really screw it up and you want to start over, delete your SD card contents, restore your backup, and you're starting over. It's not hard. All right. Joseph says, I cringed the entire video. 3D flying seems a bit too dangerous. I don't see how you stood there recording the video. He's not lying. I got to tell you, there were a couple of times watching those guys where and I'm also behind the camera, so I can't necessarily see everything that's going on. I got to tell you guys, he's not wrong. I mean, it does take a little bit of nerve because, I mean, you watch them fly, but stuff happens, right? It's mechanical. Nothing in the world is perfect. So things happen. It can happen. And those big 700 spinny blades of death. Yeah, what can you say, man? It does take a little bit of discipline. I can tell you on more than one occasion, I took some steps back And on certain occasions, I would park myself in a place where I could get cover. So that's all I can say about that. Let's see, Jerry. Did Jerry get 2 comments in here? No. Oh, it was James. Okay, so Jerry, nice radio, but need the 4-in-1. Need the 4-in-1. Here's the thing about that. My comment on the 4-in-1 is, this is just what I believe. Okay, obviously it's not fact. It's just my opinion. I'm expressing an opinion this time. I think the 4-in-1 is dead. I called it when OpenTX was dead. Nobody else did. I did, and I was right. But I think the 4-in-1's dead. I think it's dead in the water. The only thing that's going to keep it alive are the crossovers. The guys coming from Spectrum, for example, that's got a bunch of Spectrum airplanes and receivers they want to keep alive. That's a reason to have a 4-in-1. But I would say if you're new, forget all that business, man. Just get Expresslrs. That's the answer. I think, my opinion, EdgeTX, Expresslrs, Rotorflight, Betaflight, iNav still annoys me. Expresslrs, I said that, EdgeTX. The open source stuff is going to take over. And I'll tell you, let me explain myself. I'll be happy to explain why. If you're a developer for any product, and I'll pick on Spectrum because they're a big corporation, or they're big company. So if they're going to put Spectrum out there, they have to pay somebody, some organization or group of people, some entity has to be paid to write the code that has all the Spectrum logos and Spectrum feature sets that they want, right? And that's an expense. When you're running an operation, that expense has to be recovered somewhere. So that's why their radios cost so much more, because you're paying the salaries of the people who do the work, all right? In the open source environment, it's different because you're now isolating development cost from the manufacturer's cost. And that's the truth. So now you've got developers who are hobbyists. These are professional people who in their day job, they do this for a living. They code. They're into firmware and microcode and, operating systems and who knows what else, right? But that's what they do. So at home, when they're not able to go flying, they need something to work on. They sit down at a terminal and start busting out code, and they put it into their hobby. So what's gone on there is now you've taken the development cost and you've extracted that from the manufacturing cost of the hardware. Now, it's not a clean extraction. Don't mistake what I'm saying. Like Radio Master, Jumper, Beta FPV, any, Happy Model, any of these organizations that are using the software for their products, they still need to collaborate. So there's some expense to it, right? They have to collaborate with the developers. They send out test units. They make sure the developers have what they need to write their code and do their work. So there is some cost, but it's not like paying or HR, right? HR in any major organization is literally the most expensive. It's like the most expensive thing. So if you're separating out the development model and putting that in you're distributing that cost to the developers who are hobbyists and they're just doing it because they want to do it. Now the hardware manufacturer doesn't have to deal with the same cost in sending you updated equipment, right? That's gone. And that's why I think open source eventually will take over. Now, if you go look at some of the more prescriptive operating systems, I won't mention names, but the prescriptive operating systems, sure, maybe they look a little better. Maybe they have, smoother graphics or who knows, whatever. Maybe they're more unified. But in the open source world, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more fractured, maybe not as consistent from thing to thing. But that's because you've got open source people and it's kind of a loosely knit project of enthusiasts. And on the corporate side, you have somebody, a boss, saying, no, this will look like this, so make it happen. And the developers say, okay, and they make it happen. So yeah, there's a little bit of nuance there in the look and feel of things. But in terms of functionality, I think that the open source guys can take risks that the corporate people just don't, because of their embedded base, embedded code, and the amount of costs they would incur to make the change. So it's a fascinating thing to watch, but I do think that open source products will eventually take over. I believe that. I don't think there's any way around it, to be frank. So that's that. All right. So let's see. That's that on that one. Nice radio, but need the foreign one. Bottom line, that was a little bit of a tangent, I know, but I think the foreign one's going to die. Except it'll be no, it's not going to die. What it's going to do is it's going to become a niche, right? And Expresslrs will be the monolith. That'll be the big one. All right, Lance says, one reason I like your channel is I know you fly a lot of helis. I fly exclusively helis, but we'll be getting into FPV. I'd like to experiment with Nexus in this radio, but can I change things on a radio like V-bar, or will I just have to carry a laptop with me when I go out to the field? Let me answer that question. Now, I want to show you guys, the guys that are into, let's put the keyboard up there. The guys that are into the helicopters. Man, I'm having reach problems all over the place. Can't get a hold of anything. Okay, there we go. Now we got telemetry. All right. So let's zoom in. So I just want to show you guys. This is open source, okay? There's Rotorflight 2. This is the one that is kind of like the Lua script for Rotorflight that's part of the project, okay? So you go into Rotorflight Lua, you can configure things. You can configure rates. You can configure, I don't have an ESC hooked up, but if I were connected to one with an ESC, and I've done it, it works. You'll see ESC parameters load up right here. It works. It does work. This is where we set the model name on the transmitter. So that's where that's done. So, you can program. You can program your governor, your filters, your mixo, servos, your PIDs, your rates, your rescue. You can configure everything. So the very direct answer is no, you don't need a laptop. You can do it right here on the radio. But let me show you what's coming. Here's what's coming. Now, I don't really spend a lot of time on this one because I don't believe that the graphics in this one are meant for the CPU on this radio. I think that it really needs the next CPU. So when I click on, say, PIDs, for example, they come up, and now I can adjust my PIDs on this controller right here with touch. So it's all right there. So the answer to the question is, yeah, you can adjust things right on the radio. And I think that when the new CPUs come out, then this functionality that you see here is going to suddenly get much more interesting because now, it won't feel as laggy when you're trying to adjust things on this screen. So that's the answer. You can definitely make adjustments on Rotorflight right on the radio, and you can adjust your ESC as well. Okay. All right. So that's that on that one. And I think that was it. That was the last question I had. So I told you guys, short Q&A. Didn't have many questions in there this time. I looked. There wasn't much there. All right, that wraps up Q&A, which brings us to the last segment of the night, which is coming up. So what's coming up, obviously, is the 4K live stream. I'll also tell you guys that Dave he's been bitten by the EDF bug. So he's always asking me, bring in EDF, bring in EDF, bring in EDF. So he's been flying EDFs a lot lately and having a good time with that. I've been enjoying it as well. It's not just Dave. I've been having a good time too. So probably a little bit more EDF stuff. I know we both have the Avanti, the big Avanti. So I'll tell you, we flew those over the weekend. They're great. They're really good. That's a great. The Avanti is such a great airframe for an EDF. It really is the best. So that'll be coming up, and then the 40K thing, and then the Goblin. And that's it in terms of airframes. I don't have any other airframes inbound. And honestly, through the holidays, I don't anticipate that I will. So any videos that you see will be probably flying what we've got. So the Genesis, we'll get some video footage on the Genesis for you. That Maiden has been completed, flew great. So I'll get you some content on that. And we'll get the Goblin up there. And I think that's it, the 40,000 subscriber thing. And the rest of it's going to be some flight material. I do still have a little bit more material for torches too, so I may put some things together there. But yeah, a little bit more from torches. So that's about it. No, not the end of the PJ. Let's talk about the weather or something. That's it, man. That's the end of the PilotJam, Hobie. I appreciate your being a fan of the channel and all that. But this gets viewed by a lot of people, so you got to call it when it's over, and it's over. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I hope if your weather permits, you get out there and fly something. That's all I've got for today. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell so you know when new videos hit the channel. Take it easy.